If Deku was the Hollow Knight, I'm also making the Vessel and Horner not be siblings, as in canon. Let's begin with the story. So Deku is the actual Hollow Knight instead of being like the reincarnation or anything. And this takes place after he defeats the Hollow Knight boss, and and also the radiance is consciousness is sealed inside of him. So yeah, he he was also able to come back as his normal self, because why would he be chained up? It just would have. Deku has to, yeah, as I already said, the radiance is in his head. So Deku walks out of the black egg. Ghost? And it says from the side of the room. Deku looks at her and stares. He actually talks this time and says hello to Hornet and walks away to Dirtmouth. Hornet, confused, starts to walk with him back to Dirtmouth. Everyone Deku has met in his adventures is there. Deku greets them and sits down on the bench with Hornet, like in the picture. Hornet's just sitting down. Hornet Hornet is still confused in that Deku actually talked instead of just doing his normal nodding or anything like that. Deku decides to rest after because of the boss fight. Deku rests for a good little bit, like around 3-4 hours. He wakes up and walks to the Grim Troop because they're not there. He walks to the he walks to he wants to find the Grim Troop's leader, Grim. Deku finds him and Grim looks to be packing stuff away to leave. Deku walks over and asks what he's doing. Grim looks at him and says, "Ah, little ghost. I'm leaving to explore for a while. I wanted to give you a gift before I left." Deku gives Grim a confused look. Grim walks up to Deku and puts his hand on his head and channels some soul into him, making him kneel. Grim stops and sighs. "I gave you a little transformation that should help in your travels. I It may take some time to manifest, so be patient." Thanks, Grim. Deku walks off to talk to the rest of the troop, then leaves. As he's walking back to Durfmouth, he thinks to himself that he would like to leave Hollow Nest since he already completed with his mission. The Radiance wakes up in Deku's mind and tries to break free or unleash some infection around. Deku, not wanting to end up as same as the Hollow Knight, tries to find a countermeasure. He thinks of trying to let her go with some bindings. He would go back to Mouth and look for Hornet. informed Hornet of what he was thinking to do. So, so she would attack anything that looked like the plan went wrong. So Deku and Hornet went to the abyss. He already freed the shades, so they do not attack him and Hornet. He sits and meditates. He sits like this for 10 hours. A big burst of light comes out of him. Hornet takes a fighting stance, and leg also gets covered in some darkness. And Hornet gets ready to attack, but then the the light blinds her for a little bit, and she sees the radiance with some markings laying there on the ground. Deku gets up tired and tells Hornet to back down. He picks up the radiance and walks to the Pale King's palace. He he sets the radiance down and sits with Hornet. What now? Hornet asks. I don't know, Hornet. I wanted to see if I can give her a chance to change. She did get left by her worshippers. I can understand why she did this. Deku stays silent for a little bit and then says, Hornet, I want to leave Hollow Nest. What? Why? Because I already completed my goal. I already sealed the affection away, and Hollow Nest is safe once more. But now I want to find out what's beyond the land of Hollow Nest, but beyond where I was. I understand, Ghost. Hornet being a little saddened by this. Would you like to come with me, Hornet? Huh? Would you like to come with me? Hollow Nest is safe, I assure you. I know a few people that are more than enough to protect Hollow Nest. Okay, it would be interesting. Movement can be heard from behind Deku. He looks up to see the radiance waking up and looks at him. Oh, you're awake. Deku helps the radiance get up. This is what the radiance looks like. The the radiance seems to be in some distress. She tries to take a fighting stance, but she's weakened at this moment. Calm down. I'm not here to harm you anymore. Those markings have are forms of binding spells. You should not be able to do any harm or unleash your infection like you did before. While I still have them up. The radiance calms down and asks, what do you plan on doing with me? I have no bad intentions. Though, I just wanted to give you a chance to change. What? Change? I understand why you have done this. You're little outraged because of your worshippers leaving you for the Pale King. The Radiance is shocked to hear this, but never. She still doesn't trust Deku. Now what? The Radiance asks. I don't know. I'm probably gonna leave Hollow Nest. What? Why would you leave? This place has everything. Yeah, but it can get a little boring. So I decided to leave. Hornet is leaving. I would like you. I was thinking you could come too. And I don't think you really have a choice since you are kind of bounded to me. The Radiant sits and thinks about this for a little bit, then decides to come along. But Deku decides to go and grab all his stuff and decides to walk around and say his goodbyes to everybody. He tells everybody goodbye and leaves Hollow Nest. They, the Radiance and Hornet are walking for a while. Uh, they have been walking for a good couple months until they find somewhere that's different. They find Japan. I'm making the Hollowness be like a good couple months away. It's like a legend. It's an urban legend. So they walk over to Tokyo and they come out through an alleyway and people are looking at them weirdly. Some of them are muttering, saying, "Do they have mutation quirks? What are they? What are those big long swords on their backs? What? Where did they come from? I don't like the way they look. They could be villains." Everybody avoiding them until they hear, until they see a villain attack. Deku, being the way he is, runs to see what's happening and sees. I must say that this is like the USJ attack. They run to see someone running out of the USJ and stops him to ask what's going on. He says, "Could you find any heroes? There's a villain attack going on inside of the thing," and runs off. That obviously being Ida. Deku runs in to see everybody staring at him, confused to who he is, and the villains. Deku, being the way he is, jumps down to protect Aizawa, which is about to get killed by the Nomu. Deku does a shade blast and blasts the Nomu back a couple feet. He tells Hornet and the Radiants to go somewhere else and see if there's any people that are maybe in danger. And he stays to fight the Nomu. Shigaraki is confused on who this person is fighting. But this is also what Deku looks like. He is attacking the Nomu, but he's not really doing much. He's running out of soul very quickly and backs off. He grabs Aizawa and lays him down near the entrance. Deku obviously is having some trouble. He has taken a bit of damage, so he decides to heal himself with soul. He cannot do. He's trying his hardest, but he to no avail. Then Hornet and the Radiants come back to see Deku struggling fighting the Nomu. This was made to kill All Might. There's no way you can defeat my Nomu. Ugh, I do a bad Shigaraki voice. Anyways, Deku is still being quiet and not answering or saying anything towards Shigaraki. He decides to continue to fight the Nomu with Hornet and the Radiants. They're doing some damage, but it's still regenerating. At so Deku is getting mad at this point. The Nomu punches Hornet and the Radiants away, along with throwing Deku onto the ground and started to punch him. Deku is almost is about to take the last punch before he actually dies, and decides to jump. And at this moment, he cuts the Nomu's arm off and runs and jumps back. Deku, having a bit of soul, gets three masks back. Deku decides to try to use the gift Grim gave him. It may not have manifested, but he wants to try. This is what Deku's transformation is. He has the scythe and everything. Don't mind Hornet there. So Deku decides to use his new power to his advantage, and he starts to attack the Nomu. The Nomu not being able to react in time to Deku's improved speed. Now, I'm going to go into more detail of what this form is. This is Deku's Grim form. This can also be applied to anyone else that he allows, that being Hornet and the Radiants for right now. So, Deku is... So, Deku's has increased speed and strength along with the scythe. That little fire thing is he can use to send bursts of what the frick was those things called? But hell flame, yeah, I'm gonna call it that, hell flame. 'Cause I forgot what it was called, but it can be used to either do damage or blind his opponent. So Deku uses that to his advantage and obliterates the Nomu, killing it, and Shigaraki being surprised. And Deku is about to throw the scythe at Shigaraki, but Kirigiri teleports him away, and Deku de-transforms and gets on one knee, and being tired. I'm gonna end this off here because I'm running out of movement. Because I didn't write enough to this. So I'll be ending it here. So this is where this ends. Goodbye.